2, 1. We're on, we're recording, and we're continuing. The world was created for me. Again, the earphones are in, so hopefully it's the audio is working with the recording. But as long as you guys can hear me, that's the only thing that matters. But the world was created for me, according to Rabbi Nachman. Every person, according to Masechet Sanhedrin, 37a. We all know Ashi has it in front of him. Every person must say, the whole world was created for me. Rabbeinu says, if the world was created for me, it is therefore my constant obligation to examine and consider what it's needed, what the world needs to repair, what we need to repair the world, and provide everyone's needs and to pray for them. So because the world was created for me, and it was created for Ashi, it was created for Liora, Ariella, etc., it's our job, it's our obligation to find what hole, what void the world has, so we could fill it. I think that's the end of the Torah, by the way. And wow. Okay, so short and sweet Torah, but it's such a deep Torah, right? And wow. So that's the end of this Torah. Okay, we're gonna keep it here because we don't have to extend for too long, right? And on top of that, I think we should be praying for other people because again, we're one, and we're a team, we're a unit. So if we're aware of what needs to be repaired, by the way, I think it's like it's a process. It's not like, okay, I found my job and there's nothing else to do. You know, like I think over time you'll see, oh, the world needs this from me, the world needs that from me, and it'll change over time. But in the process, in the meantime, we have to pray for other people to understand their avoda as well, and to understand why they think the world was created for them. So I think that's also important. It's not just for yourself, it's for other people as well. And it's part of prayer. I mean, this is under prayer. So we have to pray for not only for ourselves to understand what we need and what we need to repair in the world, but for other people as well. Anyone, questions, comments, disagreements, feel free. We're ending Torah on Pesach.
And
we all know. Okay, amazing, perfect.
So Jack and I both had the zchus of going to the Rebbe's kever this week. We went on different days, but did you go on his birthday?
No.
I think
I went 2 days before.
So going, there was literally hundreds of people in the Ohel, and it was crazy because going in, I didn't really know what exactly I was going to daven for. I just thought it would. And then going in, you see, literally, it was just packed to the brim. Like people are stuffing you in. You're getting as close to the kever as you possibly can. And I just thought that we're each davening for our own. Our friends and our family. Is he back?
Guys, this is gewalt.
Jack, you back?
This is amazing.
But yeah, I just thought that it was the most beautiful thing that everyone was davening, almost together, and almost for me at least, I had that realization that we should all just be davening for each other. We're all davening for the same thing, for clarity, for connection to Hashem, and we're all just looking for meaning in our lives. And I just thought it was the most beautiful thing that the Rebbe brought everyone together, and everyone's tefillah were somewhat aligned and somewhat connected.
That's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. I mean, I didn't get the whole thing because my Wi-Fi was bugging out, of course, because we're learning Torah and there needs to be some nisyonos, I guess. But it was actually very cool when I went to the Rebbe's kever. I think you touched on this. Like I saw people with Yankee hats. I saw people that were foreign, like from Europe, like French, Chinese, like from all different races and places. It's just crazy. And they all came to the Rebbe because we're all one. It's very cool. Very cool to see that. Wow. Anyone else have anything to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, Samson.
So I also came in late, so I don't know what was said exactly about the Rebbe, and I don't know what the Torah was by Rabbi Nachman today. So I'm just gonna say we just gotta scream and daven all the time. If we're talking about davening, which we've been talking about for the past few days, then severe meod to say something like that. But that's all I have to say.
It's all we need. It's all we need. It's gewalt. Thank you, Samson. Anyone else? Daniel.
Yeah, of course.
Daniel,
I just understand like daven, like my attention, like the part of Little Seder Magid has like the same status as like Fila. It's like some answer. I forgot. It's like an answer to some like to explain something like have sex. It's like Magid is like Fila. So like I heard somewhere today, and just like in Fila to cross like preparation and in order to contemplate and know more. So too about like to Magid, so the Little Seder, you gotta like contemplate, you gotta prepare for it, you gotta come to the table with different Torah and like on how to like pronounce everything and how to understand it the right way, so you could like share in the midst of the Yitzhak Mitzrayim.
That's beautiful. I think we it's beautiful Pesach Torah. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else before we conclude? Ashi, Ariella, it's all good.
Yankiv,
If you don't have anything to say. Or
can you give us
Samson.
a sikum of what the Torah was today? Can you give us a sikum of what the Torah was today? I missed it.
The world was created for me. And Rabbi Nachman says, I mean, do you want to like a little recap? Or you just know?
I know, but yeah.
Okay, you know. The world was created for me, meaning Rabbi Nachman is saying because the world is created for us. And by the way, this wasn't Rabbi Nachman, it was actually Masechet Sanhedrin. But the way Rabbi Nachman interprets it is like, okay, because you know the world was created for me, now it's your avoda, it's your job, your obligation to find what the world needs from you, how you can fill the voids within the world. You know, even more than that, we should be praying because it's under the sugya of praying. The concept of praying, we have to pray for other people to find their path and to find the reason as to why the world was created for them as well. Not just praying for ourselves to find it, you know, but for others as well. And it's also important. B'Shem Kol Yisrael.
So Pesach is all about that. We know that we say in the 4 sons, 5 sons, if you will, according to the Rebbe. Really 5 sons, everyone knows why. But each one of them says something, right? It says, Chacham mahu omer, Rasha mahu omer, Hatam mahu omer, She'enu deli shol. If he wouldn't know how to ask, he would say something, right? So everyone has their aspect of tefillah, and we know even that she'enu deli shol. What's his tefillah? His tefillah that it's an inner tefillah. Nachon, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that a person that doesn't say Kriyat Shema with his lips, it's not nichshav lo yotze. But we know that Rabbi Nachman says in Sichot Haran that the fire burning inside, the inner fire, is burning all the time. That inner screaming fire is going off so hard. It's burning up the whole world. So you have to know through tefillah, the world is mamish created through me, and Pesach's telling us that. We're davening all the time for that. Each aspect of us that is the Chacham, the Rasha, the Tam, the She'enu deli shol, and even that aspect of us that's not at the Seder, as the Rebbe added on, the 5th son. He's also saying something. We just don't hear him because he's not at the Seder. So.
I just get fired up from you guys. I really, really do. It's amazing. Anyone else have anything to share before we conclude? All right. Ashi, you don't have to raise your hand. I'm not a teacher.
I'm new here.
Yeah.
I'll add on, not add, but say something related to what Leora said about everyone davening together. So there's a Indian to, it's brought down the halacha, and the Svarim talk about being mekabel v'yatarecha kamocha before you daven. And the deeper meaning of that, not the halacha is not deep, but the other meaning of that is that, right, every single person in Klal Yisrael, we're all one koma, we're all one big thing. And by attaching ourselves to others before we daven, we're kind of saying, okay, let's say I don't have a good ashrei, but you might have a good ashrei. So by you doing that, you fulfilled my ashrei in a sense. And you might not have had a good Baruch Shamar, but I did, or Samson did. And then through that, you're Yodse. As in what we're saying is that, yeah, when we're davening, we kind of all have each other's backs. So it's important, one, halachically, I mean, not really halachically, but also halachically, and two, just in terms of panemius, to always be makasher to, I mean, one to tzaddikim, but also to other Jews, because they fill in your davening that you might not have davened. So we're always all davening together, but even more so at the Rebbe's kever, it's the Rebbe. But it's important to remember that we're all on the same team, and we all have each other's backs. So it's also important sometimes Rav Olson says that when you're davening, so sometimes you don't know who's looking at you when you're davening. So even if you're not feeling it, you should try to act like you're feeling it and get into it, because you might not be into it, but someone might be looking at you and they're like, oh, hey, you're actually into it. So now I'm going to get into it. So davening is not just about you. It's about everyone there. At the same time, it's also important to daven for every single little thing, because if you don't daven for every single little thing that you need in your life, then you're kind of shrinking Hashem, because you're saying, oh, this isn't good enough for you. But that's not true, obviously. So it's important to daven for every single thing. But can I say one story, and then I don't want to like take everything.
Say all the stories, baby.
So the Magim Chernobyl, so he was talking to someone once, and it's brought down Rav Olson Sefer Bani Tzila, but I don't have it on me, so I don't want to botch the story. But what happened was that Chassid was talking to him, and so he said, "Listen, Rebbe, like there's this person that's in my life that's like really bothering me, but it's not like a big deal, but like they're annoying me, and it's like it's hurting my avoda in a sense, but I feel like it's like a tiny thing to ask for. Like I can easily just like kind of be nice to them and not worry about it so much. So I don't want to ask Hashem for small things." And the Magim Chernobyl was like, "What are you talking about? Like if you're not gonna, like, you have to ask for everything. If you're going to ask for big things for Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're saying, oh, only the big things are good enough, but the small things Hashem doesn't really care about, right? It's usually the small things that are more important. That's right. Rabbeinu says, I mean, he doesn't say it, but he says it and he doesn't say it. And if you look in his Shavchus HaNefesh or Meshivas Nefesh, probably Meshivas Nefesh, they bring down that the lowliest people, right, whatever that means, because right, the Baba Rebbe, we're talking about him, he said you can never know how far close to Jew is, because what do you know? But it's the people who are seemingly on the lowliest place. They're the ones who reveal the galus of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, because it's oh, okay, a tzaddik tos Hashem, great. What's the chiddush in that? The chiddush is that even the people who are bechinas aretz, right, milchal aretz kivodo, right? Even if someone is in an aretz, right, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is still there as well. So it's those people, it's these small people and these smaller things in life that really reveal the godless of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So it's important to remember, abyssal is eich good, as Rabbeinu says. I'm gonna stop there. But the idea is that everything's great and everyone's davening with each other. We're all on the same team, and yeah.
It's too good. That's too good. I'm super juiced, guys.
I'll show you said is exactly what we say in the Haggadah. Right? We say everyone's coming. Halach ma'anya in Avdi Mayinu. We say like all the poor people, and then we also mention the Chachamim. Yeah, I wanted to add that. Even the lowly people. How do you know their level?
You never know.
Even those lowly
You
people that are
never know.
Can I say
When
one story
you
about the
think,
Chalban?
you know. Yes, of course.
Just one story about the Chalban. So someone was talking to the Chalban once, and there was this other Jew there who wasn't wearing a kippah. So this guy was like the Chalban. He said, Rebbe, like, what's this guy's deal? Like, why is he here? Why is he wearing a kippah? So Chalban said, hi, please leave. I mean, say like that, but he's like, please leave. And the guy's like so confused, like, Rebbe, I was like, why is he here? He's not wearing a kippah. He's like, please leave. And he's like, what? He's like, if you're gonna go judge another Jew just based on that, I don't want you here. You don't know the root of his neshama. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know what he's done. Like, who are you? They can just say, oh, he's not wearing kippah. He's puzzle, right? Who has the right to puzzle another Jew? So like lowly highlight that doesn't exist in the Kadosh Baruch Hu's terms. So why would that exist in our terms? Like, there's no high, low, like just like here, right? Like Kadosh Baruch Hu's like here. People like to say, right? There's no thing that's high and low, right? So you really never have the right to ever judge another Jew because what do you know, right? No one knows. No one knows.
in Sichos Aran Mem. Vavin.
Can you guys just keep
So,
going?
like, or just
No, we
judgment.
all-
It's like supported. Like
Wow.
the make us truths. Yeah, like I'm like got so inspired by this.
Wow. Yeah, Samson, you have something?
That's the whole union of gefilte fish.
What's the Indian
Gefilte?
gefilte fish?
Gefilte gematria 592. Also gematria 592. Lo tzarich ladun lekaf chova. You don't need to judge someone unfavorably. You don't need to see bad. Like, we're so easy to judge people incorrectly. Lo tzarich ladun lekaf chova. Take a step back. Have a bite of gefilte fish. Say l'chaim.
Just because we're talking about fish, the Indian of eating fish on Yom Tif and Shabbos is that, right? A fish doesn't have a neck. It's just straight brain and heart, whatever that means. Because in Shabbos and Yom Tif, like we don't want there to be a separation. We don't want there to be separation through anything. So we eat fish on Shabbos to remind ourselves, right? It's really important to Reb Judah to have fish on Shabbos. Those who like Reb Judah. I recently read something that like that's really important. Like there needs to be fish on Shabbos. Rochi talks about this a lot too, right? There needs to be fish on Shabbos because you have to remind yourself like there shouldn't be any separation between the brain. There shouldn't be any separation here. There should just be brain, heart, one thing. It's important to eat fish. Sushi, yeah, fish.
Let's eat fish. Are you guys herring people? Gewalt. All right, you guys.
Of course,
here's a
of course,
Shem-
love herring. Especially like the honey
Shem, we should have a
mustard one.
kiddush.
So good.
Yeah, we should have a herring kiddush one day. Mitzvah Shem. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, this is unbelievable. Anyone else have anything to share? I mean, we're all on fire right now.
Can I say one more
Just
thing?
like just more wood
Yeah,
to the fire.
just one more, and then I gotta go. Okay,
good.
so this is from the Skolia Rebbe Sagada, where I heard from Rav Tzvi. So it's known that the Kedush, the Rebbe Yitzchak. So when the Kedushas Levi would get up to Matzazu, he would start like going nuts, Matzazu, rolling around the table. Everything would go all over the place. They had to reset everything. But when he would say Matzazu, he would say Matzazu. So the Zera Kodesh from Naftali of Rupshitz in his section of Sevuus brings down from Rav Nachman Mendel Briminov, who is one of the main Talmidim of the Noam Elimelech, that when Klal Yisrael were getting the Torah, they couldn't hear anything. They couldn't hear everything. All they heard was the of Anochi, because it was too much for them. All they heard was right? So is what is Aleph. It's Emunah. So when the Kedushas Levi was saying Matzazu, Matzazu, right? What's matzah? Matzah, the fruit of Emunah. He was saying Emunah, matzah, right? And why is it that when a Jew ever hears a vort or something really nice, they go because what they're really saying is I believe in Kadosh Baruch Hu. And just because we love Rav Davidel here, right? So I once heard from my rabbi Jonah Waldman that right, Jews don't say oi, they say Why? Chaim Weinstein. Wow, this is great. I don't know. It's my first time here.
Yes.
So Nothing. We're just talking about you. Everything you embody in your life, that's what we're talking about.
That's really cool.
So Jews don't say "oy," they say "ah." Why? Because we don't say "oy," I can't believe that happened. We say "ah, that was interesting. I believe in the Kadosh Baruch Hu." Right? So anytime a Jew ever hears anything that they're like, "Oh, wow," they're really saying, "Ah, I believe in the Kadosh Baruch Hu." So we're eating the matzah, right? And the Ishbitzer also says, when you eat matzah, you're just like putting emunah in your system. Your mom is like putting emunah into your bloodstream. So, okay, now I'm really gonna stop. But the idea is that Chaim Weinstein is great. The word is that Chaim Weinstein is great. We shall be zocher be Chaim Weinstein, who's protecting us. And I mean, I'm assuming mostly people in Eretz Yisrael, but we should be zocher to go back home because why would we not? And okay, yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Jack, that's the most kfar pizza that's the man I've ever seen, bro. He's got to add him.
No, he's coming to Kfar Pizza stuff.
He's coming to
guys. Chaim Weinstein and I.
Yeah,
Chaim, if you want to pitch to the cover.
Oh, wow.
Kfar Pizza.
Wait, what did you discuss? Give me like 3 bullet points real quick.
Okay, brother. First of all, this is all recorded, so we're gonna watch it on YouTube together. But Gewalt. It's all okay, fine. But anyways, we're just gonna conclude now. It's been a while. I really just wish you guys health, Mamish's health, fire, success, wherever you are, whether you're defending the country. And Chaim is, if you defended the country and you're continuing to defend the country like Moshe Schiff, if you're in connecting bridges, of course, in America to Israel, we all know that. Daniel Molinsky, Shana Bedoraita, Gewalt, the Papiers, the duos are together, Ariella, maybe in college, not exactly sure, maybe seminary. Yimir Hashem, we should all be successful, and we'll continue. Yimir Hashem, we'll be in touch for the next Stealing Torah. But guys,
Thanks, Jack. Good night.
Bye. Guys, we'll be in touch.